shortly. Is it live? Paul, it's live. Look, Deb, top left. I'm PJ Kwong Skating. PJ, guess what? I dragged somebody into my virtual living room. Debbie Wilkes.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me, Peach.
You are so welcome. We are so excited to be here talking all about skating. I actually have my phone with me, so I might be able to see some comments, but probably not. Paul's going to field them to us. Okay, as always, we want to talk about some of the people that we know in skating who are just pounding out some great work. Jackie Wong, who's rocker skating. Ted Flett, Golden Skate. Bev Smith. Ryan Stevens, who just retweeted the tweet, the fact that we were going to be here. Ryan, I hope that you're here. Look, there's some comments already coming in. Elizabeth, it's great to see you too. Elizabeth's happy to see us.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Okay, I've got to tell you, one of the most tragic things that happened this week, my haircut appointment is tomorrow, not today, which is what I was hoping for. So, although it's not really skating news, it's a little bit related. So,
it's always about appearance.
It is always about appearance. So we're here in the virtual living room. I want to talk about skating. There have been some very interesting developments that have happened this week. Of course, the skaters are headed to Grenoble, France, for the Grand Prix of France. It's going to be a very good event. But I always watch the Google Alerts. If you don't have yours set, you should. And in the Google Alerts, a couple of things cropped up. First of all, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski are going to be leading the broadcast team in Pyeongchang, Korea for the Olympics, which I think is fantastic. What do you think?
Yeah, I really enjoy Johnny and Tara. I think they tell it like it is. Sometimes I don't agree with what they're saying, but they seem to welcome that too. I also think that the chemistry that they have between each other is absolutely hilarious. They make a lot of fun of each other, and while they treat the sport seriously, they don't treat themselves very seriously, and I think that makes for great viewing.
Hoorah for personality. That's what I have to say. Honestly, I just think that that's the best.
And you get the sense, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you get the sense that they are being their legitimate selves.
That's my virtual dog. My virtual dog in our virtual living room.
Sounds cute. Must be Garth.
Garth's at home in my real living room. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So that was the first thing that happened. I think that that's just a great thing. So way to go, NBC, for recognizing talent and for capitalizing on the fun that they have, because I think it makes viewing that much more fun.
And I say congrats to NBC too, because they're really investing in developing their personalities, in using their incredible knowledge and experience, and having it come from two real characters within the skating world. Tara probably more so since she retired. Johnny was always a character.
Absolutely.
Such a unique personality, unafraid, daring.
Talented.
Like oh my goodness.
Please.
Absolutely talented.
Yeah.
But not afraid to take on the community.
Yeah, I think so.
Which I think takes a lot of courage.
Here comes Paul, our producer.
Ryan Stevens is up.
Hey Ryan, thank you for the retweet.
He said, fun fact, ice time is one of the reasons I fell in love with skating history.
You're dating us, Ryan. Oh my God.
Dating both of us?
Patricia said, your hair looks great.
Thank you, Patricia. She's my cousin for Regina. How are you? Is it Patricia Wood-Skalicki?
Yes.
Hey. I don't have the earrings on. Don't tell your mother.
No, I can tell everybody a fun fact that actually PJ and I have been friends for a very, very long time. But what got her into this business was the show Ice Time.
And working as an intern.
Yeah.
Yep.
And boy, you straightened me out on more than one occasion.
Still am.
Yeah, still doing that. So anyway, Ryan, Ice Time connects us all.
It does. But, you know, it was so much fun to have a show that was devoted strictly to skating.
And there hasn't been one since.
No, there hasn't. There should be. Okay, CBC, get on it.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Agreed.
Who do we speak to?
Agreed.
Well, we probably know who to speak to.
Yeah.
I'll talk to them on Monday.
Okay, thanks.
That's probably not going to happen. But what the heck. The other thing that I thought was really kind of cool this week, another Google alert that I came across, which was a story about a shrine in Japan, in Kobe, Japan, And it's a shrine that Yuzuru Hanyu has visited a couple of times. So it's kind of a little fun story, and I think there are lots of skating fans who have made the trek to this particular shrine. So if you want to know more about it, Paul, I think you're going to post the link, aren't you?
Yes.
He is. Look at him. He's very good that way.
Is this a shrine that's devoted to Yuzuru?
I think it's just a religious shrine that he has visited, but skating fans, according to this story, seem to be leaving messages, sort of hoping for like lovely notes of sort of prayer and well wishes and hoping that he'll skate well and do well. So I love that story. I think it's charming.
It is charming, and I think it's also a testament to the kind of caring environment that skating produces.
Yep.
There are no greater fans in the world, I don't think, than skating fans. Fans who care not just about the sport, but about the skaters, regardless of where their home may be, what country they represent. I think that's a wonderful thing about the sport. True skating fans want everyone to do well.
Now, I just got to point something else here. Christine Love, I hope you can hear us. We'll speak up. Tim Hughes, legendary boxing announcer from the Olympics, and my friend Tim Hughes, that's for you. He said he wants to know about Nathan Chen, who's a hometown boy from Salt Lake City. I've known Tim Hughes since 2002. I'm not sure Nathan Chen was born in 2002. What are his prospects internationally? By the way, Salt Lake City anxiously awaits PJ's return, and so do I. I'm coming for you, Salt Lake City. Nathan Chen, I think, is a real contender for the Olympic Games, now that we're talking about it. What do you think?
Well, I certainly think the way the sport is going these days, he's producing technical material that is superb. And we see real development too on the artistic side. So I would have to agree. He's young, he's hungry, he's well directed, he learns quickly. These are all amazing signs of success.
Lori Nickel free program. I mean,
well,
seriously.
What can you say?
So I think that, it's very interesting when we're looking at the Olympic Games. So many competitors have gone back to old programs. But I love that too. I mean, you were talking about Yuzuru Hanyu's short program. Tell me what you think about that.
I was doing commentary during the Autumn Classic, which was the first time I'd seen both programs. The short program, during the commentary, I called it a masterpiece, which I fully believe it was skated supremely, patiently,
World record.
Just exquisite.
Yeah.
Not as good as skate in the long, so hard to really evaluate the quality of the program. But certainly just incredible pieces of work. And I think they will become pieces that are recognized around the world forever as being statement pieces
absolutely.
That incorporate talent, dreams, artistic creativity. There is something so, I love the word organic.
I thought you were going for a different word. It made me a little nervous, frankly. David Pelche said that other word another time in the Facebook Live. Pardon me.
All right, let's get back on track here. Anyway, programs were incredible.
Yeah, I think so. By the way, just as a reminder, Jeffrey Buttle recorded a little video with me at a recent event and talked all about the remake of the Yuzuru Hanyu short program. So look on my YouTube channel and you'll find a great little interview with Jeffrey Buttle. Okay, back to Paul.
Christine wanted to know where's Alaj?
Alaj Balde.
I think he is, now I don't know.
Alaj, if you're around,
let
us know.
He was named to one of the Grand Prix events, but I may have that wrong.
I am not sure either, to tell you the truth. I love Alaj Balde skating. I hope that whatever he's doing, he's enjoying it and doing it well because he's a treat.
Well, and
on the human scale, top notch.
And on another person who's a master of choreography.
You bet.
I mean, it's not. He's the ultimate showman.
Yeah.
And knows how to read an audience, knows how to get into their hearts, and is just a delightful young man.
What about the ultimate showma? See what I did there?
Ooh.
Showman, showma. It's fun for me to have someone to talk to as opposed to by myself.
Well,
Showma uno.
Oh.
I mean, honestly.
when you look at particular, well, no, I would say all disciplines, but the men, I think, have such a rich depth, and there are so many different styles and so much diversity in how they perform. Obviously, the technical side will determine the winner, I think, when we get to the Olympic Games. But how wonderful it is to see such unique characters, unique styles. I love that about this. Oh, Paul's got something else.
I have a question. What's the deal with all this ice dancing? There's world records, and then they're broken, and then the two top teams seem to be going back and forth here. What do you two think is going to happen? Or is it going to be on the day? It's going to be.
I think it's going to be on the day.
Wow.
And I think also that what a tremendous testament this is for the development of ice dance, that it has become so competitive that we're not always seeing exactly the same placements everywhere, every time. It should be like that. I mean, these are all incredible skaters, and dancing of all the disciplines, I think, has just rocketed skyward in terms of its importance and its technical complexity. So it should be whoever's the best that day.
I think I've got an upcoming podcast in a couple of weeks with Carol Lane, and we're calling it Ice Dance 101. And she makes some very good points, and that is that the top teams in the world, let's say the top 10 teams, are all basically doing the same thing. And we don't have like a quad to differentiate them, you know. So what you're looking at is programs and people performing, as you said, on the day. I got into an interesting Twitter discussion yesterday with a fan who wanted to know sort of my thoughts about Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron having higher scores than Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir so far in the Grand Prix season. And I said, you know, for me, the scores are just simply an indication of what went on. I really always wait to see what people are doing head-to-head in competition. So...
and every event can be a little bit different.
Yeah,
although
for sure.
The scales are all the same. Something happens at events sometimes where a judging panel will start out looking at this particular element as the most important element, and they must keep that standard throughout. The next event might be a different thing. So I think we have to recognize that every event is unique. And just circling back to what I said a moment ago about the best skater that day should win, I think we all know that sometimes that's not necessarily what happens.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that there's anything funny about the judging. It's just to say that sometimes a skater will emerge that day. It's like their magical day.
Sarah Hughes,
and they skate better than they've ever skated in their life.
Or will ever again.
It's true. Does that make them the best skater? No, but they were definitely the best skater that day.
So when we're talking ice dance, and then we've got a great question, I think, from Joseph, eh? What are we going to say?
I was going to say, you just did a podcast about ice dancing this week.
I know. Oh, right. Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget with special guest star Jamie Soleil, who happened to walk in while I was interviewing Caitlin and Andrew in the press area. Jamie came in and she was doing... And I finally said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm trying to let them know some... And I said, you're in the interview. So she became my co-host.
Love it.
So it was a whole lot of fun.
She'd be wonderful.
Oh, she was great. And Caitlin and Andrew were just a treat to talk to. The conversation runs the gamut from soup to nuts. And the return to Je suis malade, that ice dance, free dance, tour de force. So that part is outstanding. Came up with an interesting way of looking at the ice dance event. For me, I'm not looking at results. I'm looking at all-time fantastic teams. When I think of some of the legendary ice dance teams, I think of Tracy and Rob, Tracy Wilson, Robert McCall, 1988, Scott Joplin? No.
Scott Joplin.
Okay, I was thinking Joplin, and I couldn't remember the first name. When I think of Torval and Dean, there's so many programs that I can name. When I think of Isabel and Paul Duchesne, lots of teams. When I think of Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer, I can probably come up with 6 right off the top, actual programs that I can name. So that for me is what truly, Shailene Bourne and Victor Kratz, a whole bunch of programs, including Riverdance. These are moments that live in my brain forever. So for me, regardless of result, that is what truly defines legendary ice dancers.
Memorable.
So, memorable. Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. You guys are legends in my mind. Gabriela Papadakis and Guillaume Cizeron, you guys are outstanding skaters. I take nothing away from you. You didn't win 2 world titles on not having a whole lot of talent and being able to capitalize on what it is that you do best. But it's that memorable program thing that I think is so interesting.
It is interesting, and when you think about ice dance and your comment earlier about Carol Lane and talking about how probably the top 10 in the world all do the same kind of stuff, the same elements, that's a challenge for the ISU to figure out. How do you create an opportunity for dance teams to, what is the right word, separate themselves, or how do you become known for something special if you're all doing the same things?
Yeah.
So that kind of creativity then falls to the creation of the programs.
Yeah.
How do you make a program, as you've discussed, that is totally memorable, that captures all of the technical elements that have to be skated superbly, and yet still have that kind of, the word is magic again, that makes it forever part of the skating lexicon.
Yeah, wonderful. Paul, can I throw in one question from Joseph Stewart? Hey, Joseph.
Sure.
One of my favorite breakfast people from down east. How are you? Okay, great question though. He's very pro skating, skating skills, and anti-quad fest. Do we think Jason Brown or an Adam Rippon can factor in the mix in Pyeongchang? By the way, did you see Adam Rippon's quadlets? So
Yes.
they're in there.
Yeah.
The quads are in. They have to be in there. It's the price of admission. I love
It
Jason.
is these days.
Yeah.
It is.
So,
And if
but
you
they can be in the mix though.
if you can do them the way Yuzuru does them, if you can do them the way a number of skaters can do them, so that it is part of the program and integrated into the choreography, and it doesn't stand out as, here comes the quad, I think that's success.
Yeah. You know what? There's no taking away the artistic ability of both Jason Brown and Adam Rippon. Amazing skaters, and certainly are helping to advance the sport, I think. So, okay, Paul.
What's going on in Poland?
Warsaw Cup.
Okay, because Christine was asking about that there seems to be a lot of talent happening in Poland, and looking forward to checking it all out.
Yeah, me too. Yuris Rasgulaevs, Carol Lane's coaching partner, his son Dmitry Rasgulaevs has gone to the Warsaw Cup with his partner, very first international representation. So good luck to all those skaters.
Isn't it fantastic that all of these events are growing around the world?
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, there are many different steps to learning how to perform a competitive program to its maximum ability. And that only comes with performing it under pressure. And that's a different kind of pressure when you're competing than when you're simply doing an exhibition, which is a pressure of its own for sure. But being able to be in the spotlight, to have the audience and judging panels scrutinizing every move you do and getting feedback that comes from that, and learning about yourself as a competitor, how do you manage that kind of pressure, those are all things that you have to learn how to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So Craig agrees with you that he said quads are here to stay.
Hey, Craig.
And I think this is actually a good point, is if anything I'd update the point system, namely the bonus points in the second half and all this, but I think also just, maybe rejigging sort of the program components, not rejigging, but like kind of balancing this out. I know it's difficult, and it's always been difficult, but
I think that with the program component score, my feeling always is that, and David Peltier made a great point a couple of weeks ago when we were watching Zagitova from Russia, who ended up winning whatever that was. Let's say China,
yes.
I think. And David said that, you could really put a load of laundry in the first half of the program because nothing was happening until, because she backloaded all of the jumps into the back end to get the 10 points, 10% rather. All of which is really smart, but you can't then have the 10% bonus and then still have across the boards 875, 92595 across the components, including choreography, including all that
what's
stuff.
The definition of a balanced program?
Yeah, exactly. So you can play the system that way if you want the 10%, but I think that we have to be, the judges have to be a little bit more on board with scrutinizing how they dole out those program component scores.
There is a lot of work goes on post-competition for all of the judges and the technical panel. These kinds of little unique situations come up all the time where a skater and their coaching team has strategized around how to gain more points.
Sure.
And I must say that in my tenure as a technical judge, that I was very impressed with how the ISU kept on top of this. Was it perfect? No. But it certainly indicated a very huge commitment to trying to make the system better, fairer, and more conducive to building the sport of skating.
Sure. And having people want to watch it. So
Yeah.
have it be entertaining. I mean, Zagitova is a beautiful skater. Don't get me wrong, and I love her ballet-inspired free program. But you can't.
It's not a balanced program.
No, it is not. So, and that will come. I mean,
Sure.
she's very young. I'm not, but she is.
Maybe just to wrap up, do a lightning round. What's France this week?
Yes.
Weekend? What's going to happen there?
Well, Gabriela Papadakis
big
and Gil
breaths there.
Cizeron, I know, they're going to take the ice dance title. But you know what's really interesting for me? I want to see how Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poget do at France. Because part of what's happening is, for all of the skaters, it's a chance for them to really make sure that they will be included in the Olympic conversation. And for ice dance, I think, unless there's something very unusual that happens, I'm pretty sure that the top two spots will go to the top two ice dance teams. But the bronze,
Yeah.
you know what? Everybody gunning for bronze has been a world medalist or a world champion so far. So that's going to be kind of interesting.
And
to see.
think now, Caitlin and Andrew have had a few more weeks to put some more mileage on
Yep.
that old program, to bring it up to date, to get feedback from the judges about what was working, what was not, what needs to be a little bit better. And knowing the kind of workhorses that they are, they will have studied every edge of that program, every turn. It will be exquisite.
I'm going with Vanessa James and Morgan Cyprus to take the
pairs.
title. Yeah, ahead of.
Haven't they been fantastic?
I know.
This year?
Ahead of
last year.
Tarasova and Morozov. I think that the Russians are outstanding pair skaters. I think that they're really quite wonderful. I'm not crazy about the material that they've selected this year.
And John Zimmerman has done an incredible job with the French pair.
With Vanessa.
Yeah.
Vanessa, formerly of Toronto.
Scarborough.
Nice Scarborough girl, like you.
Yeah.
And you formerly, but that's okay. And then, ladies, Caitlin Osmond all the way.
Oh, for sure.
This is a girl who is putting down just outstanding work everywhere she goes, and she's comfortable, and that Black Swan program is to die for. So that part, I think, is wonderful. Joanne Shaw is on the line.
Hey, Joanne.
And then the men.
I just have to comment about Caitlin.
Always.
I think the return for her after her injury, I don't know how anyone comes back and having experienced that kind of life-shattering moment, to come back and still have the fire in your belly to compete at that level, not just compete, but to improve and to embrace it and grab it. Wow, I am so impressed with her.
I have written about the fact that she has paid her dues like
Yeah.
nobody else. And so every success that's coming to her has been the work of all kinds of different people. Lance Vipon among them, Ravi Walia,
Absolutely.
Caitlin herself.
Mhm.
She's just been
She
wonderful.
decided.
She
It's
decided.
like she decided.
And she just said, everybody else, move
Get out
away.
of the way.
And then the men, well, I think it's going to be very interesting because I think that Javier Fernandez is there. And Javier is going to try and get himself back on track after a terrible outing in China, not of his making. He was not well. So I think that this is an opportunity for him to just stay in that Olympic mix. He is very much in that Olympic mix.
Oh,
and
for sure.
amazing. So
For sure. I saw him live in Montreal at the Autumn Classic. And
he won that event.
He won that event, but not easily. He had help. Yuzu did not skate well in the free program, but it was kind of like an awakening. You could tell that, when you're a little bit older and having been through the ringer a few times, having been a world champion, you begin to wonder, is this all there is? And it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to be motivated again.
one final funny story that I read, a writer was in a liquor store and picking up a bottle of wine, and also in a liquor store was Patrick Chan with a companion. So
Where was this?
It was in an unnamed Canadian city.
Okay.
So it was named, but you have to look it up yourself. So this man said, "Hey, are you Patrick Chan?" And Patrick Chan said, "Yes, I am." So they had a little bit of a chit chat. Got up to the counter. The man paid for his wine. Patrick, whose wine was being carried in the liquor store, which is hilarious because Patrick has a wine line. Anyway, the cashier carded him. He didn't have any ID with him, so he had to leave the store. You could just look up Patrick Chan with the Googles, with the picture, and no such luck. So
I'd like to be carded.
me too. It's probably not going to happen. Not
That's
today.
a few
Wait,
years
let's
ago.
let's move it back further. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Paul, anything else?
No.
Paul says no. What do you say, Deb?
I say no too.
Okay.
But I'll say goodbye.
We'll see you next time. I'm going to try and get her to do this again.
I'll do it.
Will ya?
I'll do it, sure.
Wonderful.
But I want to be the host next time.
Okay. Maybe even next week.
Whoosh.
Bye for now.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.